That's true. Narc is first. Oh, I forgot I was going to show you guys that somebody's trying to kill Narc a while back. I don't think that made it on the show. I was talking about it and then got distracted or something. The time change got me all wigged out. What if I told you the people that are supposed to be in charge of freedom of speech, bring back comedy, don't make comedy illegal, we should be able to say whatever you want, are now banning words? Imagine. Oh no, why's my chat thing not working? That's working. Hold on. Got to refresh it maybe.
What you think about when you're born into a fire? Let them burn it out. Sell them to the richest buyer. They wanna let the world decay. They tell us lies and fade away, fade away. We feel betrayed. We were raised to lose the
Why is chat thing not working?
get to the back of the pack, kill it anyway. Listen up now, because we're never dropping out. Beat the odds, beat the big house.
I'm working on it, chat.
How we've been thinking for ourselves, never let the truth fade away. This is bigger than ourselves, we won't let the world burn away, burn away. We feel betrayed. We were raised to lose the race. Wake it to the back of the pack, kill it anyway. To blame, haters face the world's mistakes. Wake it to the back of the pack, kill it anyway.
I know I changed a few things, but I can't remember what they were. You can keep chatting in the chat. I'm trying to figure out something else.
And we feel betrayed. We were raised to lose the race. Wake it to the back of the pack, kill it anyway.
Okay, mine showed up.
Haters face the world's mistakes. Wake it to the back of the pack, kill it anyway.
Oh, there it goes. Okay, someone else's is showing up now.
But I can tell you this about if this douchebag happens to see this particular show, You don't have the forking balls to call out the people on this planet by name and tell them exactly.
I must have broke it at some point.
The rest of the world will be. You don't have the forking balls. You don't have the balls.
Okay, Scott.
Here we go, I think I started some shit. Listen off, it's about to get lit. Get the place in the best, you know that stage is set.
I was trying to hide duplicate messages.
Ain't seen none yet. Here we go, I think I started some shit.
Try it again.
Listen off, it's about to get lit. Get the place in the best, you know that stage is set. You better buckle up, cause you ain't seen none yet.
And they say that I'm a lunatic. Well, listen, bitch, I came equipped with a quick wit and a 6th sense for the stupid shit.
Where my true believer?
Y'all need Jesus.
Praise the Lord.
I'll be right there. Hold on.
False fucking prophets who profit off of gossip. Worshiping drums, cocking, begging for a throat deposit. Swinging fucking meat hammers like four and a thought.
We'll get there eventually, chat.
Beating his chest like he's King Kong.
Oh, let's kill the music. Kill the music. Here we go.
Hey daddies, it's me, the Linda Binda from TikTok. I wanted to make this video because I wanted to thank you for watching Cold Beer Confessionals with Will Bird. I think that's just incredible. I've watched a few episodes and I'm just like very intrigued. But you know what I'm most intrigued in is?
What? Hey.
Big Daddy's meat stick. I heard that it's very thick, like a good old German sausage. You know, Linda and her coochie loves that. Oh, never mind. Let's not go there. Anyways, I hope you have a good show and enjoy it as you can. There's a lot of weird things that go on, especially
welcome.
when it comes from the realm of Linda Bindaland. So, enjoy the show. Thanks for watching. Peace out.
Ooh, welcome everybody. I'm Will Bird, and this is the Cold Beer Confessional. Thank you for joining us tonight. Got a little bit of a show planned. We changed our time. Hopefully everybody was successfully changing the time, falling back, spring forward, all that crazy shit. Anyways, thank you guys for joining us. Thank you for being here. Still no update really with Mariah, her grandpa, what's going on. She's going over there tomorrow if she drops the kids off, so she'll be there in the morning. It sounds like they told him that they're going to send him home for 3 weeks. Hopefully the stents, medication and stuff get him in better shape for the surgery, right? He's still going to have open heart surgery, but hopefully the stents and some medication or whatever gets him a little bit stronger before he goes to surgery, and we can go from there. That's supposed to be the plan. I don't know. She's also going over there just to make sure that he heard it right. A lot of times he just hears what he wants to hear, whatever he wants to hear. Then, weird thing happened when I was leaving my house today. Like, when I was leaving my house, when you walk all the way out, you get to, like, a park, basically, right? There's, like, a park at the end of the road. Now, it was destroyed in the flood. Railroad kind of rebuilt it. When I came out today to leave, Mariah had just came in and had went to the grocery store, so I helped her unload the groceries, get it all packed up. She'd maybe been there for, like, 40, 45 minutes. I left. There are fucking cops everywhere. Like, when I first got there were 10 cop cars there. City, county, unmarked, everybody was there, right? So I thought, this is weird. I wonder what's going on. So I took a picture. I waited around and sat around for a while, tried to figure out what's going on. They had like a really young girl. I say really. They had like a 20s to 30s year old girl. They had a young girl. And then they had this older gentleman and I think his spouse about the same age. They had them separated in 2 different groups, and the cops were talking to them. And the girl looked like she had been crying. So I kind of sat around. I took a picture. I submitted it to this place, this local thing that keeps up with like local police and stuff going on called Scanner Food. I sent it to them to try to see if someone else called me. I asked the deputy. I was like, hey, you guys looking for something? They're like, we're working on a case. I just kept going like some type of badass. But there was also some weird shit. Like there was some cops that like went up to the railroad tracks. They were like walking down the railroad tracks. But I think it ended up just being a domestic dispute. Ended up the police chief was there. There's 13 cop cars by the time everybody got there, which is a lot of cop cars for anything. The chief of police ended up leaving with the girl who had been crying in his purse. Well, it's like an unmarked car, but she was sitting up front. They left. All the rest of the cops stayed, and that's when they went and walked like in the woods and shit. But I think what I pieced together is she lives in a tent on the Appalachian Trail, and she comes down to that park during the day. Then either a complete stranger or someone she knows or someone she lives with, apparently there's a domestic assault, and I'm assuming maybe he's still missing, and that's why the cops were walking around looking for. I don't know. It was just all weird, but I did get a picture of it. And speaking of Scanner Food, that is the local site that like coordinates a bunch of shit. They actually ended up with this video. So there's this famous Indian. Damn, what is that? What is the name of that shop called? Do you remember the Kingsport Indian? You probably don't know. Hold on. Pratt's Barbecue. Pratt's Barbecue has this famous Indian on its roof or on its building, right? It is this giant Indian. I'll show it to you here. It's this giant Indian, right? This giant Indian sculpture. I feel like it used to be like even higher, like up on a roof, but it's been there for like years. Like people grew up, people know who it is, people know what it does. It didn't make it. So they sold it. They ended up selling it to somebody. And in the process of moving it, this is what happened. The Indian did not make it.
His leg
Don't worry, it gets worse.
just fell off.
Oh, man.
No.
Damn it. That was the famous Indian chief. To be fair, it looks like it's made out of paper mache, and it's been there for like 60 years. Or something when I was going through the comments. Like, come on. What was supposed to happen? Pratt's Barbecue, I think, said they closed permanently in Father's Day of last year. So they hired a fucking, whoever bought it. You know how expensive it is to hire a crane to come on site and move something? Not to mention you had a truck lined up and transport lined up, and you probably had to have people there to like build some type of structure around it to like hold it in shit. Like somebody spent quite a bit of money to move this thing, and it looks like it's made out of paper mache and copper wire. Everybody looks real happy, don't they? Yeah, make sure you spin that leg around. What? That one dude was like, let me move this leg, and look what he did. Watch him. He's in a hoodie. He comes right here, and he's like, whoop. That was the best part of the video. I bet you people are calling for this guy's head, dude. Watch it. Let me get this leg out of the walkway. Oh. He even puts his hand up at one point.
Oh, no.
Like, to be completely fair, it was ruined from before then. Some woman was in the comments saying, I remember so-and-so built this in his garage for Pratt's. I was a little girl. I used to come visit. It took him like 3 years to build it or something. I don't know. But it's been around there forever. There was a senior prank one year in this town in Kingsport where the seniors went and stole his loincloth. Well, that went well. Yeah, I don't know who the woman is recording. You think I know the amount that a private individual paid to move an Indian? I have no fucking idea. A lot. The head kind of made it. I mean, it did get kicked in the face by its own leg, but the head's still there.
So very nice.
They're taking autopsy photos.
The defense is wrong.
What the fuck? I hate autoplay. Fucking hate it. Anyways, that was a big local news story. They should have left it alone. And let's see the comments. God, people are going to be pissed. They should have left it alone. Angry face. Exactly. Wouldn't it be a good fit for the new car wash? But did the new owner of the property want it there? They were moving it to preserve it at a new location. Someone bought the Indian, didn't they? Oh, let's see. This lady said the man from the putt-putt place paid $11,000 for it. So there's a putt-putt. That would be a good place for it. Oh, wow. So sad. Went to auction, and the man was going to put it at his putt-putt place and paid $11,000 for it. Hate to see it fall apart. Dan Estes, it would have been great there. Hate that for Marcia and Dan. I'm sure the truck, crane, and labor were not cheap either. Too bad that happened. Yes. It looks so fragile. It's a wonder it was still standing before the attempt to move it. That's what I was thinking. Like that thing was going to fall eventually. Just from what I saw with all the particles falling out when it came apart in the middle, it appears that Pratt's had not preserved the materials Big John was built out of. It might be a good thing that it was that weak. It could have came down an occupied building or went through the building with customers inside, and that would have not been good at all. Somebody links to another post. When we saw the Indian, we knew we were almost at our grandparents after traveling a lot of hours. They should have left it alone. People are so upset. It reminds me of they're the crying people instead of that Indian that used to cry on that billboard. You guys know that commercial I'm talking about? There used to be a crying Indian on a billboard for people littering or something. Oh, wow, so sad. We went to auction, and the man was going to put it as putt-putt place, paid $11,000 for it. This is so shocking. This upset me. I so hope they can repair him. Repair what, dude? He could have insurance on it. The way the guy just swings that leg and the rest of it just hanging there like, here, let me just finish this job. I mean, he's only been there for, 60-plus years. Deterioration and decay has set in, so it seemed there was no hope, sadly. Once they're gone forever. It was a legendary landmark that should have been saved as a Kingsport monument. What do you think they were trying to do, lady? Yeah, to show how backwards places in the South are to still have such a racist statue up. Ooh, that's not going to be met well. You're ridiculous. Nobody looked at that statue to sit and think about how much they hate Indians. Give me a break. People are remembering it fondly because it was a landmark they grew up seeing and are familiar with from a nostalgic point of view. Nothing more, nothing less. It's not racist at all. If anything, it shows a bit of admiration or reverence for culture and its aesthetics. But I suspect you already know this, and you are just or are just brainwashed to always look for something to be offended by so you can point it out to signal your virtue to team for the pats on the back and social clout. Just be practical and be genuine, man. The truth sets you free, you know? I don't know. Come down to the South and see how backwards we are. Hopefully backwards enough to keep people like you away. We'll be racist if you come here, you piece of shit. I'm 30% Indian, and this doesn't bother me, laugh out loud. My brother, what bothers me is people talking about curtain race who clearly has no business to. Curtain? Did you really, you meant certain. About a curtain race who clearly has, actually, I'm 30%. How did you get 30% Indian? 3 of the 10 guys your mom slept with were Indian? 30%. Weird. Careful, pretty sure you use some words he's not going to understand. The South is backwards, ? But yet you don't even know what you are? Keep scrolling. Racist? Really? You're an idiot. I know all the curtain races. Oh. There you go. Big John is now big gone. That's all we got. What do we want to do next? The most anti-veteran administration in history, some are calling it. Like this gentleman.
Nearly 6,000 veterans have already lost their jobs and been terminated from federal.
Nearly 6,000 veterans have already lost their jobs and been terminated from federal services. The federal government, when veterans voted for Trump and voted they wanted anti-DEI, they forgot that they were DEI. If I go to work for the federal government, I'm DEI. I get preferential treatments to get a job because I'm a veteran. I think that veterans who voted for Trump forgot that they were DEI.
Nearly 6,000 veterans already lost their jobs and been terminated from federal service.
He's a compliance investigator with the U.S. Department of Labor.
At an unprecedented rate, and we'll all enter the civilian workforce with less protections. While my time is limited, I just wanted to say this. This isn't subjective. This is evidence. This is evidence. In less than 2 months, this administration has proved itself to be the most anti-veteran administration ever. What's going on is just...
All right, so that was him speaking. Now he's actually talking to the reporter here.
Just not right on so many levels.
Yeah, you called it the most anti-veterans administration in history.
It is. I mean, there's almost 6,000 veterans that are terminated. It was just reported today that 80,000.
So the reason that we found out that the 80,000 people were going to be cut from the VA was actually a leaked internal memo. It was a leaked internal memo. Then the VA secretary comes out and says, oh, you don't understand. It's not going to affect service. It's not going to affect benefits. It's not going to affect any of that. These are just extra people. While the last couple of years since the PACT Act has been passed and the new people were hired to deal with that, they've had some of the lowest reported wait times and some of the highest approval ratings from veterans that use the VA. Highest reported approval ratings. Could that all be a lie and people are just lying about it? Maybe. But it seems like veterans thought the VA were not a great job, not an exceptional job, maybe not even a good job, but a better job with the more people.
1,000 VA employees are going to be terminated. They have the most amount of veterans. It shows you that the billionaires are the ones who matter, and they're going to step on anybody to get them what they want. So it's unfortunate, but a lot of people are going to...
Doug Collins is the VA secretary. He come out afterwards, just like, it isn't going to affect this. It isn't going to affect... He had to come out when Doge was over there and say, oh, they're just looking at our contracts. That's when they accidentally fired a bunch of people. They said they weren't going to fire off the suicide crisis hotline.
I mean, Nicole, you will remember when Donald Trump became the first president to do something like besmirch the legacy of a war hero, John McCain. Mm-hmm. And I think people thought, oh, maybe that kind of disgusting treatment.
We can't just make up jobs for people. They had valid jobs doing a valid job. Many of them worked at the crisis hotline.
Of someone who has served our country in the most tangible, visceral, self-sacrificing way. Maybe that's an anomaly. Maybe he will move past that. This is evidence, the treatment of veterans, right? Which was once the third rail in American politics. You would never see a Republican Party targeting veterans, targeting the...
Well, Trump comes out and attacks John McCain for being a fucking POW.
Having veterans come to town halls and say, this is the most anti-veteran administration in American history. The statements Trump made about John McCain, the statements he's made about people who serve, who were wounded in combat, he, as someone who got out of serving this country because of bone spurs.
Campaigning at the Arlington.
That was not an anomaly. That was an indicator. And you are now seeing the harvest of those seeds. The treatment of veterans is not going unnoticed by veterans themselves. There were a lot of them that spoke up last night, and they feel the same way.
It's got to affect benefits, right? The system is working. It's working well. And we're cutting 20% of the workforce. Obviously, it's going to affect benefits. Obviously, it's going to affect veterans. Their health care service is going to affect everything that goes on in the VA. We're cutting 20% of the workforce. No study. Nobody went in and said, oh, 20% of the workforce is doing nothing. That's not what happened. It's most of the time, it's not based on merit. It's not based on how well you did. It's not based on your manager's reports of, are you doing your job? It's just across the board. Hope we can get rid of this. Hope we can get rid of that. Hope we can get rid of this. They need to be patient. Shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up. Whatever secret thing you're alluding to isn't coming. Goddamn Q-tards and Facebook already. Already. Something good is coming for them, for all of us. Be patient. Just maybe a few weeks. We'll have it. Yeah, you guys can't wait till you get your Nasara Gasara. Fucking retards. It doesn't look great. Here's the new words that are banned. President Trump seeks to purge the federal government of woke, quote, woke initiatives. Agencies have flagged hundreds of words to limit or avoid, according to a compilation of government documents. Now, these are also the words that they're searching for to delete shit. This is how we end up deleting entire sections of history about the Tuskegee Airmen or the Enola Gay plane. The Enola Gay plane that dropped the bomb, little boy, at the end of World War II, was deleted from the DOD website because it was Enola Gay. It was actually Enola Gay. I can't remember her last name, but it's named after the pilot's mother. Her middle name was Gay. It was deleted from the DOD. They're deleting history from their website just because it includes certain words. Here are the words. You ready? I'm going to go through the whole list. You tell me your favorite one. Accessible. Activism. Activists. Advocacy. Advocates. Advocates, plural. Affirming care. All-inclusive. Allyship. Anti-racism. Anti-racist. Assigned at birth. Assigned female at birth. Assigned male at birth. At risk. Barrier. Barriers. Belong. Bias. Biased. Biased towards. Biases. Biases towards. Biologically female. Biologically male. BIPOC. Black. Breastfeed people. Breastfeed person. Chest feed people. Chest feed person. Clean energy. Climate crisis. Climate science. Commercial sex worker. Community diversity. Community equity. Confirmation bias. Cultural competence. Cultural differences. Cultural heritage. Cultural sensitivity. Culturally appropriated. Culturally responsive. DEI. DEIA. DEIAB. DEIJ. Disabilities. Disability. Discriminated. Discrimination. Discriminatory. Disparity. Diverse. Diverse backgrounds. Diverse communities. Diverse community. Diverse group. Diverse groups. Diversified. Diversify. Diversifying diversity. Enhance the diversity. Enhancing diversity. Environmental quality. Equal opportunity. Equality. Equitable. equitableness, equity, ethnicity, exclude, exclusion, expression, female, females, feminism, fostering inclusivity, GBV, gender, gender-based violence, gender diversity, gender identity, gender ideology, gender-affirming care, genders, Gulf of Mexico, hate speech, health disparity, health equity, Hispanic minority, historically, identity, immigrants, implicit bias, implicit biases, inclusion, inclusive leadership, inclusiveness, inclusivity, increased diversity, increase the diversity, indigenous community, inequalities, inequality, inequitable, inequities, inequity, injustice, institutional, intersectional, intersectionality, key groups, key people, key populations, Latinx, LGBT, LGBTQ, marginalized, men who have sex with men, a phrase, I guess, mental health's banned. Try to avoid saying it as much as possible, and if you have to say it, you got to reduce the numbers. Mental health, gone. Minority, most risk, mainstream media. Oh, damn. Sorry, I didn't mean to buzz you guys. Multicultural, MX, Native American, banned. Non-binary, oppression, oppressive, orientation, people plus the word uterus, people-centered care, people-centered care again, polarization, political, pollution, pregnant people, pregnant person, pregnant persons, prejudice, privileges, promoting diversity, pronouns, prostitute, race and ethnicity, racial diversity, racial identity, racial inequality, racial justice, racism, segregation, sense of belonging, sex, sexual preferences, sexuality, social justice, socio-cultural, socioeconomic, status, stereotypes, systemically, they, them. Can you imagine having to type out documents for the government every day and you can't use they or them? Transgender, transsexual, trauma, traumatic, tribal, unconscious bias, underappreciated, underprivileged, underrepresentation, underrepresented, underserved, undervalued. Victim. Victims. Vulnerable populations. Women and underrepresented. Yeah, we had a person that we had a friend that left their husband and went to, or left his husband left his wife and run away overseas, and he lives like down in Costa Rica or something now, and he comes back every so often and does the deal. Oh, Teresa's being retarded? Yeah, I see that. The treatment of veterans should have been addressed during the Biden administration. Yeah, that's when they passed the PACT Act. Did you miss it? That's when he hired people to process the PACT Act. They were spending billions of taxpayers' money for illegals in Ukraine. The money that goes to Ukraine, the money that fucking processes illegals, asylum seekers, has nothing to do with veterans. It's like saying you shouldn't pay your light bill because you have a gas bill. Glad you could get educated today, though. Thank you. Imagine these banned words. It is not completely banned, but you're supposed to, if you have to use them, you're supposed to limit them as much as possible. The ones that I said plus represent a combination of words. Maybe those words by themselves are not banned, but when I said the word plus, that combination of word is banned. The above terms appeared in government memos and official and unofficial agency guidance and in other documents viewed by the New York Times. Some ordered the removal of these words from public-facing websites or ordered the elimination of other materials, including school curricula, in which they might be included. In other cases, federal agency managers advised caution in the term's usage without instituting an outright ban. Additionally, the presence of some terms was used to automatically flag for review some some grant proposals and contracts that could conflict with Mr. Trump's executive orders. This list is most likely incomplete. More agency memos may exist than those that have been seen by the New York Times reporters, and some directives are vague or suggest what language might be impermissible without flatly stating it out loud. All presidential administrations change the language used in official communications to reflect their own policies. It is within their prerogative. As you know, what wasn't in the list? Give me the combination of three words that wasn't in the list that represents everybody around Trump. The first word is a sexual orientation. The second word is a ethnicity, and the third word is a sex. Straight, white, male. Even women were included in this. Anything other than straight, and nothing about men. That's wild, dude. Straight isn't in here. That's the accepted one. White isn't in here. That's the one that obviously. Male isn't in here. Even women. Female. It's weird male wasn't in there. Isn't that weird? That female would be there, but not male. Women is there, but not men. Crazy. It seems like the only time they mention men, the only time in this whole list that they mentioned men was men who have sex with men. Black. Disability. Disabled. What the fuck? How is the government supposed to function? Yeah, that's true. Billionaire isn't in there either. I have an advocate. I have an advocate at the VA. Is the person I call. It's like a patient advocate when you guys go to the hospital. So the person you call when shit's wrong or you need help or have questions. Advocate. Gone. Diverse. Some of these are just wild. Equal opportunity. The government enforces the equal opportunity employer program. How are they going to do away with equal opportunity? Females. Feminism. Gone. Historically out of there. Can't be doing that. Shit's crazy. We had Chris Murphy stood up. I don't know if I showed the short version of this. I don't think. Oh, first, before we move on, let's go talk about somebody's trying to kill Narc. I don't even know if I ever showed this. You guys know that Narc is in here sometimes. Sometimes he just watches. Sometimes he's the one that's like, first or whatever, right? Apparently, he pissed off some people, okay? Narc has an enemies list. And listen how much detail they go into trying to kill Narc. This happened back on Valentine's Day is when it was posted in Discord, but some people didn't see it. But here you go.
Oh, I agree 100%.
So this is a voice recording in a Telegram group, it looks like.
100%. You can't keep doing what you're fucking doing and get to that personal fucking level where you're talking to people's wives and their kids and you don't.
Somebody called you out?
You're gonna fucking rap on your fucking door.
Somebody said hi.
You're too fucking ignorant.
I think they just randomly pick who to say hi to. It's Atsuko. She's Chinese, so don't let her talk you into, their crazy government, but don't let her steal any state secrets from you.
When somebody can get Google Maps of your fucking house.
What?
See where you're...
Someone can get Google Maps of your house? What are you planning here, James Best?
You're too fucking ignorant. When somebody can get Google Maps of your fucking house, see where you're always going to do live streams in your fucking garage, right? We know this.
So get a picture of your house. We know you do your live streams from your garage.
He's always going to do live streams in his garage. And you can't look on Google Maps to find out where the only entrance and exit of that.
The only entrance and exit from the garage.
Garage. And you tell me that nobody's going to go in there and fucking blow his brains out.
What? So they're talking specifically about Narc because he made fun of them online, right? And they're literally telling people how to look him up. He's in his garage. That's where he live streams from. You just go wait till he's live. He'll be in his garage. Get it on Google Street View. I've got a picture of it. You can walk right up to his garage. It gets way more in depth than this. Keep listening.
It's a garage door, dude. There's a entrance and one entrance out unless he has a garage door open. There ain't nowhere to fucking go. Tell me that somebody ain't gonna fucking come in there and blow his brains out. It's gonna fucking happen. It's just a matter of when, and it's a matter of who. Who has the fucking balls? Well, he's in the goddamn garage with a side door. There's a side door on that garage. You can look on Google Maps. You can see the fucking house. You can see where the goddamn garage is. You see the fucking entrance.
Talking about our good friend Narc.
Entrances. You tell me that nobody's going to go in there and fucking pop a shot at his ass?
Friend of the show.
Come on, dude. Everyone knows his fucking path for doing the fucking mailbox Thursdays. Everyone knows his path when he sends the fucking garbage cans to the fucking curb. You tell me that somebody can't sit out there and fucking pop a shot while he's fucking doing a recorded video for his bullshit on Trash Tuesdays? You telling me that nobody can fucking pop a shot? I mean, God, this guy's fucking predictable as anyone.
To have the audacity to call out good friend of the show, Narc, on Al Gore's fucking internet.
You tell me you can't fucking pop his ass? Of course you can. He don't need to be a fucking knife to the fucking neck. It could be a fucking 22 shot. The neighbors ain't even gonna fucking hear it. It could be a 22 shot. It could be
Narc's alive.
22 shot. Two.
So the house, the routine, the Google Maps, through the door, the weapon caliber.
One in the fucking face and one in the fucking chest. No one's gonna hear 22 shots.
Number of shots.
You telling this dude's untouchable? Come on. Jesus Christ. Why? Because he's doing YouTube every day? Everyone knows where he's at. Everyone knows the entrance of the garage. Now he doesn't even have a truck in the garage. So where's he going? The right fucking door, right? He's got a two-door garage. Blast a couple fucking slugs through the right fucking door, and guess what? You're going to hit a fucking target.
Couple 22 long rifle slugs.
Because the truck is on the other side, right? The truck is on the left side. So you throw a couple slugs in the garage door, you're going to hit fucking narc. What's so complicated about
Calls him by name.
this? The guy's giving you the recipe.
This is wild, dude.
He's got one entrance and one exit to the fucking garage. He's going to do a live stream every time he takes the fucking trash out, which you see his path of taking garbage. You see his path every time he goes live while he's driving and going to fucking work. Are you not catching the road signs?
We have been in, me and some of you guys, the person that this is about, Narc, the person that they're threatening, posted this in Discord, on this YouTube video. It's his video. We have been in James Best's YouTube live stream before, and we actually talked to him or whatever. That was when we told him we had sister wives and the harem and all that shit. We had all that going on.
Are you guys not catching and understanding the path he takes to go to work? I mean, goddamn, this guy is giving it to you. He's giving it to you. All you gotta do is, I don't know, take a fucking step.
Good question.
All you gotta do, he's giving it to you. All you gotta do is take a step. You just gotta do it.
Good question, Cam. I was trying to ask you, how he found picture my house, how he found my address, how he do that? He looking on the Google map or Google something on my name? I'm just asking a question. How do you do that?
It's all on the internet, 21. You can look at the front of my fucking house right fucking now. 205 West North Street in Morrison, Illinois. You can look at the front of my goddamn house. It's Google Maps. It's easy.
Kathy H claims I sent somebody to her house to intimidate her for something. She's an old lady. I don't know what I was intimidating her for, but that's the claim.
It's not like, oh, well, I gotta hire a fucking detective to figure out where 21 lives.
Yes, he gets super drunk and streams for like 8 hours.
No, it's fact of the matter. It's there. So who gives a fuck if they do it? Just like Narc. Everyone knows where the entrance is to the fucking garage. Everyone knows that he got rid of his fucking pickup truck, so he's on the right side of the garage. So throw a couple blasts on the right side of the garage, you're gonna fucking hit his ass.
Damn.
NFG still in here? Yeah, they lurking. 10-4.
Damn. That's a little far. Probably a little far. So you guys remember Ethan and Hila, these people right here in this thumbnail. Ethan runs H3, Ethan Klein, and his wife is Hila. She's from Israel, so she had mandatory service. He met her in Israel. They're married, have kids. They're rich and famous. They called CPS on them and their kids. The Hassan orbiters called CPS on them and their kids. It seems like a common tactic nowadays.
Bully me. I'm not going to just fold and be like, "Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm never going to say anything mean again. Sorry."
Who's asking you to never? No one cares if you guys say anything mean. It's just when you're unhinged about like people's families. That's crazy. That's wild.
And then I'm host this and see.
I haven't seen this Destiny clip. I have seen a clip of her, and all of her comments is like, CPS, we're calling CPS, like over and over and over again.
And then now we wonder why people are calling Child Protective Services.
But they called it before I even did this stream.
But not before Denims did this stream.
He lets his dogs shit all over his mansion, and he just leaves the shit on the floor, something that is probably related to the fact that his former housekeeper is suing him for...
Look at the chat. Call CPS. child endangerment much? CPS, social services. Bro, someone needs to unironically call CPS.
Number of different reasons. So I would assume he doesn't actually have a housekeeper anymore, or perhaps he lost his extra housekeeper.
If you got kids and piss somebody off on the internet, they'll absolutely call CPS.
So now the house is just like covered in dog shit, and he has kids, and his kids like crawl into the dog shit, and God forbid, I don't know what they do with it. I don't know if they eat it or if it's just from like contact with it with their hands.
The whole chat, CPS, call CPS. I'm calling CPS. We should call CPS. How is CPS not involved?
But they contracted a parasite that I had previously never heard of in my life called Giardia from the dog shit that is all over his house.
Dude, how is it that like maybe once a week I look into what Ethan Klein's been up to, and every time I manage to find more and more terrible shit. This is where Ethan tells a story about his family getting Giardia.
We already have Mold Mondays. Now we have Shit Saturdays.
Also, this is not a joking matter, by the way. It can be very severe and deadly to small children. I mean, much like many other illnesses, it's very, very, very dangerous when...
Here's a breakdown. H3 podcast host and popular YouTuber Ethan Klein has become embroiled in new controversy after CPS were called to his home. It all started on March 8th, 2025, when Ethan Klein disclosed someone had filed a false report with CPS about mistreatment of his children. According to the 39-year-old, the Child Protective Services was notified that his son, Sonny, was crawling around and eating dog feces, which is what this video claims, claiming that the situation had been turned into a narrative that spread in the r/H3 Snark Reddit community. It turned into this snark narrative that our house is a mess, that there's dog shit everywhere, and that Sonny is eating shit and getting Giardia, and etc. It culminated in somebody finally an anonymous call went into them, CPS, on the 3rd, saying that they were someone that works at the house and they wanted to report us because our kids are crawling around and eating dog shit and getting viruses. The content creator also described what CPS agents said when they arrived at the house. When CPS first showed up, he's like, somebody, who made this report. And I'm like, no, okay. I mean, yeah, you could easily impersonate somebody. They claim, it says CPS called on Ethan and Ela. They claim it was anonymous. They claim an anonymous false call was issued on them. So here's the audio.
To this whole snark narrative that our house is
from a Reddit community. Anytime you see r/, that's a community on Reddit. Most people probably know that, but
is a mess. That there's dog shit everywhere. That Sonny is eating shit and getting Giardia, and that et cetera, et cetera. And well, it culminated in somebody finally. An anonymous...
I don't know why he's fucking sniffing so much.
...this call went into them on the 3rd, saying that they were somebody that works at the house, and they wanted...
Is that like one of his... I know he's got Tourette's and he has these weird tics. Is sniffing one of them? We just haven't heard it before?
...report us because our kids are crawling around eating dog shit and getting viruses, and they were able to provide enough details because of what I said on the show to make it appear that it was somebody...
So because he put enough stuff on the show, they were able to call in and give enough detail where CPS didn't think it was anonymous. But clearly, most of his life's on the show, just like mine. So you could probably provide enough details. Like if somebody called on me, they could say, the flood and this disaster, and they live in a camper and they do this. They got 2 kids, and I used to be their neighbor. They could lie and do it.
He said, like when he first showed up, he's like, it's somebody that who made the report. And I'm like, no, okay. So I mean, they used. I mean, yeah, you could easily impersonate.
Oh, sorry.
You're good. Go ahead.
What's truly despicable to me is the fact that you hear so often that CPS
these are the same people. The same people that call CPS on you are the ones that CPS is losing these kids and destroying these kids, and they need to be shut down, and no kid should ever go to CPS. But they'll call CPS on you in a heartbeat.
That they're not always.
They're underfunded.
Yes, and also it always seeps through the cracks for some reason.
Yeah.
And so the fact that they were so on it here, it's like that could have gone to a family that really needed it and a child that really needed to.
Turn into this whole.
He has Tourette's and does these weird tics where he shakes his hand and plays with his fingers and stuff. And it looks like he's on a new microphone. Maybe he's always had a sniffing tic and we just weren't able to hear it with the old microphone. And now for some reason we can. I don't know. I don't like it. That was the whole video though. Denims sharing her thoughts on Ethan Klein. A video surfaces on March 8th, 2025. A minute-long video from Twitch streamer Denims broadcast was posted on the r/livestream fail subreddit. In it, she discusses whether or not Ethan Klein's children were infected with Giardia due to dog feces. While reading a 3-year-old post on the H3 Productions subreddit titled, "Ethan, the dog poops are 100% attracting the flies," Denims remarked, "Didn't his kids get like Giardia from the dog poop around the house? Dude, in what world do you, this is something like my brain. It breaks my brain. It like literally breaks my brain because I don't think I am like the meanest person, but I feel like anything that gets worse over time needs to be get care of immediately." And that was this clip. Hopefully it's not the full video.
The dog poops are 100% attracting flies. This is from 3 years ago. As owners of dogs in an apartment, we don't deal with flies because we pick up poop every day from the backyard. Whenever we go a few days without picking up poop is when the flies start to hang outside.
This is when Ethan just
hang out.
Obviously,
too.
They have pets, so they were talking about flies that had gotten in their house and how to get rid of them. Blah blah blah. And they have 2 house keepers, right? They have 2 maids. There's not gonna be dog shit on the floor of their house. They have 2 maids. But they were bitching about the flies, and they know that they have multiple dogs because they're on the show sometimes. So the person is suggesting, hey, when the dog shits in the yard, if you're not poop scooping it, right, and getting it up, that'll attract flies, and flies will get into the house. They took from this that dog shits all over their house, and the kids eat it.
The house too. Honestly, hearing him trying to say that poop doesn't attract flies was a big bruh moment. I also don't get why his dogs are constantly pooping indoors, but that's another conversation. Didn't his kids get like Giardia from the dog poop around the house? Dude, in what world do you...
So that was a clip of her audio. It says Ethan Klein...
Like my brain.
Damn it, stop.
It breaks my brain.
I thought I paused it. Ethan Klein asked his community to share clips of Denims talking about the incident. Says he would love to sue her for defamation and other things. At the 1 hour, 31 minute mark of the 119th episode of the H3 show, Ethan Klein stated that he would do everything to seek justice against certain people. He then asked his community to share videos of Denims discussing his children and the dog feces incident. Quote, "I make no apology and I will do everything that I can to hold any of these people to justice in any possible way," which they have money. These are the people that they don't just threaten to sue. They can literally sue you in any possible way that I can. And that's what's going to happen. That's what's going to be happening. And if you guys have any other clips of Denims saying that our kids, anything about our kids in the dog thing, I would love it if you guys can compile that for me, just in general, if there's anyone in the audience, because I don't want to miss anything. Furthermore, Ethan Klein stated that he would love to sue Denims for defamation and other things. So, quote, "So if you know anything or if you want to help us look, you can send it to us on what? Discord, Dan? Yeah. Let us know because I'd love to sue her for defamation amongst other things." Denims responded to those blaming her, calling CPS on Ethan. During an eventual chatting Twitch live stream, Denims responded to those blaming her after CPS was called on Ethan Klein while claiming that it was very bizarre for her to be blamed for the situation. The streamer said, quote, "They were saying that apparently the call was from someone who knew them, or at least they tipped the CPS agents that ended up showing up. I think it's very bizarre for him to trying to blame me even remotely. I remember he tried to blame me and like Trisha Paytas for this as well, which is very bizarre." Denims went on to refer to Ethan Klein as a loser. Quote, "That's just pathetic. That's just a comment on you being a pathetic loser. That you would rather spend your time editing a video that is inevitably in poor taste, not well researched, just pathetic overall, instead of spending time with your fucking family. That's just you being a loser." On the same day, March 8th, Ethan Klein shot a series of Instagram stories. In one of them, he stated that CPS agents spoke with his child's pediatrician and that the test they ordered revealed the child did not have Giardia. And that gets you caught up on the internet drama. What Destiny's got to say about it.
Infants get the same sicknesses that adults get. There are lots of things that you can get as an adult. You're totally fine. You'll be A-okay. No problem. A child, a small infant that has no immune system, shouldn't be catching anything.
No wonder his house is covered in dog shit, and his neglected children raised by nannies have contracted parasites previously unknown to science from the feces. I wonder why he skipped over all of this, because everything that I said in this story, which by the way was apparently compiled by his crew.
No wonder this motherfucker's always sick. Yeah. It all makes sense now. It makes sense why he doesn't care about Palestinian children when he is neglecting his own. How is this happening? How is it happening? How is this happening? But yeah, they're saying that like apparently the call was from someone who knew them, or at least the CPS agents that ended up showing up said that. I think it's very bizarre for him to try and blame me, even remotely. I know he tried to blame me and like Trisha Paytas for this as well, which is very bizarre because I've never mentioned CPS once. I'm pretty like strongly against CPS because it's so underfunded and there aren't enough homes for people. I've never said.
God, I hate the bog standard like thoughtless progressive positions. These brain dead bimbo dipshits just have as they whatever. Like I'm against CPS because it's underfunded. What the f does that mean? Should you be able to just like murder kids because CPS is underfunded? Like what does that comment mean? I'm against it because it's underfunded. Like what a thoughtless comment.
Enough homes for people. I've never said to do this. Strongly against CPS because it's so underfunded and there aren't enough homes for people. I've never said to do this. I in fact say the complete opposite, which is like, don't tap the glass. Don't waste your time going and responding or commenting or even doing any of this shit.
And I'm love.
Enjoy yourself in this stream. We can all point and laugh at the guy who looks like an insane person, and then we can go on about our lives. This is why people are very uncharitable in general. It's because when you are charitable, nobody notices. I've said multiple times, I'm not going to ever comment on whether or not I think that this guy, Ethan Klein, is a good father or like his relationship with his family. No wonder this motherfucker is always sick. Yeah. It all makes sense now. It makes sense why he doesn't care about Palestinian children when he is neglecting his own. How is this happening? How is it happening?
If you don't know how the ecosystem works, the frustrating thing is that these people will all knowingly play into. It happens to me all the time, I'm used to it, but Ethan's probably not. You have these communities that are like genuinely fucking unhinged, right? The super anti-fan communities, the snarkers, the farmers, whatever. You have these communities that will be genuinely unhinged. But then you'll get like a content creator, and they'll bring content from these communities. Okay? These people will all watch them. Like they talk about their streams and stuff. You go to the subreddits, you go to the forums, wherever, you can see it constantly. And then knowing that they have these unhinged, deranged, probably unwashed, possibly mentally disabled, probably state funded or still living with their parents at the age of 35, fat fucking losers. These guys are their strongest warriors who will do all of the doxing, A-logging, whatever else, CPS calling. And then this person was like, I don't know why, because these guys' faces aren't as public because there's like random forum posters. These people will stand with all the support of these people. Like, I don't know why Ethan or anyone else. I don't know why. Why are they so mad? I haven't done anything bad at all.
Right.
Meanwhile, okay, these social rejects, if they get a single DM from anybody on Twitter, 0 follower account, okay, right? I'm talking about your dipshits like Ludwig or any of these guys. They get a single DM saying, "Oh, call yourself." They're like, "I've gotten so much harassment from that community. Wow, the whole community is harassing me so much." And it'll always be like a 0 follower person on a platform you have no control of. You can't ban or do anything. But like they'll just sit here and like smile innocently. And be like, I don't know why they're so mad at me. I have no idea. Meanwhile, like if all these different anti-fan, like doxing, A-logging, swatting, CPS calling, crazy communities are working with them. It's just so gross. I hate this dynamic. This is why whenever streamers say shit like smaller streamers, like I don't believe that they're bullying me. It's so unfair. I'm a smaller streamer. Fuck that. They deserve. Jenna deserves every single thing that anybody would ever say about her online. 1 billion%, and a billion times more. Okay, fuck these people. Jesus.
But I will say, it's very loser behavior to have.
It's the truth, though.
And spend all your time.
Honestly.
I'm in the editing dungeon.
Like, see, she's doing it. She's playing right into like all of the types of comments that they make, and she's doing it. And she signals them, and they know, and they it's like the wink, 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 wink. Like it's just the grossest type of human being in the world. It's the.
That's the drama you guys are caught up on. There's a video. I don't know how much of it I can play. I just thought about that. They'll probably try to take me down on YouTube, won't they? Let me check something. Keep watching this. Let me check something.
Grossest type of human being in the world.
That's just pathetic. That's a comment on you being the pathetic loser. That you would rather spend your time editing a video that is in unbelievably poor taste, is just not well researched, just very pathetic overall.
0 substantive responses to anything. 0 responses to anything said, by the way, in Ethan's video. But
instead of spending time with your fucking family and being like, actually, I don't give a fuck about this drama.
Like, you know it's his job. You know that, right? I'm sorry. Of course you know that. It's all part of the game. This is part of the game, right? I can't believe that you make videos about people on the internet, you fucking loser. Like, whoa, what do you think you are, some kind of YouTuber?
But that's just you being a loser. That's just you being an internet degen loser. And if anything, honestly, with the way that this guy simps for his wife, I believe that he's a great dad. I believe that his kids ask him for whatever he wants or whatever they want, and he just gives it to them. Have you seen how hard this guy just gives Hila whatever she wants?
Oh, and she's picked up on the anti-Semitic Jewish mind control trope too. Some of the anti-fan communities are now saying the reason why Ethan simps so hard for Israel is because Hila's the one pulling the strings behind the scenes because she's Israeli. Nice.
That makes sense.
Signaling there. Now all we need is for her to claim that Ethan is a sexist racist, and we've got the whole trifecta. Can we do it in 20 seconds or 16 seconds? Let's go.
He literally doesn't fight her on anything. This guy's probably a great dad. He probably cares the most about his kids and his wife above all else.
Including the lives of minorities.
Hope everyone is having a lovely day.
We didn't get there, I'm sorry. Jesus Christ. Oh, we have more.
1, because like Arab, 2, because woman, 3.
Yeah. I did. I had to pre-watch. I pre-watched all of these. I did. What do you want me to say? I'm a pre-watcher. I am.
I want to watch a Jubilee video, but I'm pretty sure they'll strike me if I do. But there's a part I definitely want to show in it.
I won't just fold because he's trying to bully me. I'm not going to just fold and be like, oh, I'm so sorry. I'm never going to say anything mean again. Sorry.
Who's asking you to never? No one cares if you guys say anything mean. It's just when you're unhinged about like people's families and shit. That's crazy. That's wild.
Be like, oh, I'm so sorry. I'm never going to say anything mean again. Sorry. I'm sorry. I don't play that game. And I think it's pissed him off enough that he's now trying to connect me to the CPS thing, even though I was gone. I didn't stream for 3 days when this happened. And the stream prior to that, I didn't make any comments about CPS. No wonder this motherfucker's always sick. Yeah. It all makes sense now. It makes sense why he doesn't care about Palestinian children. How is this happening? How is it happening?
But she did make comments about the children disease or whatever. She's not like, it's just all, this is all like performative bullshit. And the Hassan fans in the chat are slurping it up. How long has Denim occupied the far left space and shifted to support Hassan? Was she always like this? No, back when she was leeching off of me, no, she wasn't like this at all. But these people are like shapeshifters. They take on the form of whatever whatever lake you throw them in. They're like a sponge and they absorb it and they become whatever I guess they try to suck up to. But she's been a Hassan parasite for probably, like 3-4 years now.
Like I have nothing to do with this. I think you're just trying to pin this on the people you don't like because you can, which is very bizarre, very insane stuff. And I think I'll play the clip. I'll play the clip about me in general. Create any bad memory for them. You're not forming memories at 3 years old, and it's very rare that you're forming memories at 5 years old.
By the way, we were talking about Social Security the other day. Somebody did the numbers. Listen to this. If we do nothing for Social Security, nothing, we don't change anything, it'll pay 100% benefits for another 10 years. And then 83% after that. Right? So everybody would get their same check until 2035. And at 2035, people would just get 83% of what they're owed for Social Security. If we use Bernie Sanders, to get away with the cap, it'll be insolvent for at least 75 years. The benefits will go up $2,500 a month for everybody on Social Security, including you when you get there. And 91% of the American population won't pay a dime more. You're already paying it. 91% of America won't pay a dime more. That's insane, dude. We could fix it for 75 years, plus give a $2,400 raise to everybody. And 91% of the population wouldn't pay a fucking dime. I wonder if it's the 91% of the population that's against that or the 9% that would have to start paying Social Security tax. I probably can't play the whole video. They do strike people. I've seen it like the last few months. People have been going over it, which is crazy because reaction content is what made Jubilee huge, first of all. But check out this one clip from it.
Identity. White. So your argument is identity. White. So your argument is that has been the dominant culture. Just to be clear, we're not letting people assimilate to that.
This is Sam from the Minority Report, Sam Cedar. And his claim is, you sit down and make a claim, then there's 20, he's a leftist, there's 20 Trump supporters there, and they argue with him, right? His claim is, unless you're a billionaire, a religious fundamentalist, or a xenophobic nationalist, voting for Trump was a mistake. This is her rebuttal of that.
Identity. White. So your argument is that has been the dominant culture. Just to be clear, and we're not letting people assimilate to that. We're saying you should keep your culture, and this is why our culture is so divided. Your argument is that Trump is good for those who want a dominant white European culture. I mean, that is what America is. It's rooted in European identity and Christian values. That's what it has been. Would you really disagree with that? What is
Destiny pulls down all his replays instantly, though.
And if that's not the identity of America? Well, I think the identity of America... For the majority of time, America's been a country. You don't think that's been the identity?
Well, actually,
he may also be whitelisted by them. I'm not sure.
No, I think actually the identity of America has been, for better or for worse, a melting pot in that regard.
Yeah, maybe since like the 1960s. Even then, like even we had this idea of a melting.
It's time to be a white European nation. Trump has got a good start, but he's not even doing enough.
Pot literally means assimilation too. It means melting. It means you're assimilating to the dominant culture. Is that not what melting means?
No, it doesn't.
And now instead we're saying there's something wrong with xenophobia.
Culture.
This is not true, right? Let's say we're doing a melting pot, okay? Here's an example. By the way, you guys are really fucked when you think when it's time to start learning again. Look at this brand new upgrade I just got. I can draw directly on stream. So get ready for the teaching stream. Oh, just not very well. You guys are fucked. I'm going to PowerPoint you to death. Oh, I can draw over chat. I was trying to fit it before chat. Look, I don't even have to do that. I can clear it. You guys are fucked when it's time to learn something new. But let's say we're building a melting pot. I put dark chocolate in. Then I put white chocolate in. Dark chocolate's heated up, liquid. I put white chocolate in. Is that ever going to be purely dark chocolate again? I put ketchup in. Is that ever going to be purely dark chocolate again? Right? The idea that it's a melting pot supposed to assimilate into what everybody else is doing. That's not it. Or else you would never have any. You never have anything. You don't cook hamburger and then add all the ingredients to make it chili and call it cooked hamburger. Oh, what is that? It's a part of hamburger soup. Right? You make chili with it.
No. I mean, look,
it's a culmination of multiple parts. We're kind of like the bastard country, right? Because everybody kind of traveled here. Most people weren't native here. There are some natives here, but most people weren't native to this area. So everybody came and brought their superstitions and beliefs and culture. Everybody brought it with them.
Got to be honest with you, you and I have a fundamental disagreement. We will never see eye to eye on this. It's a choice. And people, I think what you're expressing, though, is really what the Trump movement at its heart is about. And I think that's problematic.
I disagree. I don't think Trump's
You want to know what is a good litmus test to see if somebody is basically racist? Oh, God. Teresa Dye's retarded ass is back. You've shown yourself to be the typical dim who knows nothing more than how to spew stupidity but no truth. You have just proven my point and show your own ignorance, since that's exactly what I was saying in the comment. Let me break it down for you and see if you might comprehend it. Biden spent billions of dollars on illegals in Ukraine. Shut the fuck up. Those are separate pots. That didn't affect veteran health care at all. At all. And if you believe that if we take money away from Ukraine, it's going to veterans, you just believe their lie. You can't tell me shit about tragedies that happen in North Carolina. I lived through it, bitch. Where were you at? Where the fuck are you at? I'm living at ground zero right now. You talk about people talking about what they don't know about. I'm here. Displaced from the fucking storm. Where were you at? Oh, you saw it in a tweet. I got it. Makes sense.
Anywhere close to being a Christian nationalist. That's ridiculous. Trump's basically a Democrat from 15 years ago when it comes to social issues.
So you don't think that he's conservative enough for you?
Oh, definitely. Nowhere close. No.
He's not xenophobic enough for you?
No, he's trying to pour a bunch of H-1Bs. Are you kidding?
Right. Oh, so you want to get them out too? Yeah. No, I mean, I think you're making my argument for me.
Fucking people are brainwashed, dude. Including this lady. The litmus test I was talking about, is this. Now, I don't know if this is accurate, but I don't care. If you're mad about this, just come out and say you're racist. I'm just going to tell you. I don't even know if it's accurate, don't care if it's accurate, but if you're mad about this, just say, I'm a racist. National Geographic, years ago, I can't remember how long it's been, years ago, made a edited image of what the average American would look like by 2050, and people lost their fucking mind. People lost their fucking mind. It's not what your kid's going to look like. It's not what you're going to look like. It may be different. People lost their fucking mind over this. You want to know the absurdity in Teresa's comment? She says that people need to look up facts before they start commenting. And then she says, I can usually tell who people are before they even speak. If you're mad about this, you're just fucking racist. There it is. There it is. I donate money, so I'm a good person. You have no idea what the fuck's going on in North Carolina and Tennessee. I lived through it. Hiked my family out of it. Trapped and had to hike my family out of it. You just sat back and keep donating. FEMA was here on the ground within a couple fucking days. Sat here for probably 2 months down in the National Guard Armory, helping people out. They might have been here long. They probably stay here for 3 months. Saw them every fucking day at the shelter. Like, it's wild how many people lost their mind over this coming out. Like, what did they think was going to, like, all their kids were going to pop out like this? I can see it in their mind. They thought, what, we're not going to be white anymore? You're just racist, bro. I don't know how, you can't hide it anymore. If you're mad about this, you're just racist.
Mr. President, I'm a big Boston Red Sox fan, and one of the most famous players in Red Sox recent history is Manny Ramirez. Manny Ramirez was a good baseball player, but he had a habit of doing some pretty ridiculous things on the field and off the field that were really detrimental to the team, some really bizarre on-field behavior.
I shared a little snippet of this. This is a 6-week timeline of the corruption that's going on currently. I haven't seen the full video, but we will be seeing the full video now. This is it.
You're cutting off throws from other outfielders before they got to the infield, bizarre off-the-field behavior that disrupted the team. It became so regular that a phrase was adopted amongst the Red Sox fans. That's just Manny being Manny. And over the years, it just was accepted that every year Manny Ramirez was going to do a whole bunch of stuff that was really detrimental to the team. And over time, it just kind of became accepted that that was a fact of life, a way of life with Manny Ramirez. And as time went on, people reacted less hostily. It barely got noticed in some cases when he was engaged in these.
He's given you an example here, right? This outrageous behavior, when it happens enough, people are just like, oh, that's just the way it happens. That's just so-and-so being so-and-so. That's just the Middle East doing what the Middle East does. Or that's just Canada doing what Canada does. Or that's just Trump and his friends doing what Trump and his friends do. We can't let them normalize it.
Detrimental forms of conduct. And I tell that story because it stands for, a kind of universal concept. When bad behavior gets normalized, it no longer feels like bad behavior, even if that behavior is hurting people. Today, the world is littered with corrupt governments where the leaders and the really rich men who surround the leaders, the oligarchs, they steal from people. That's what they do. The leaders and the leaders' friends just keep a hand constantly in the government treasury, and they steal taxpayer dollars. They rig the rules.
These are just things that happened when they happened, right? He's not putting his opinion on it. These are just things that happened since Trump took office and when they happened. Look how many of these there are. And these aren't even, this isn't an all-inclusive list. There's a list he had time to put together.
In order to make themselves fabulously rich, they hurt the citizens of those countries. Vladimir Putin, for instance, has never had a job outside of government, but he's reportedly worth $200 billion. One of his many houses cost $1.4 billion to build. Supposedly, the landscaping costs on an annual basis for that house are $2 million alone. That $1.4 billion house was paid for by money he stole from the Russian treasury. In other words, he stole it from the Russian people. Putin and his friends have been doing it for so long and doing it so openly and brazenly. Putin, for instance, wears a watch that retails for $500,000. Excuse me. For $500,000, even though his official salary is only $140,000.
He wears a $500,000 watch. He makes $140,000 a year, allegedly. Right, Vladimir Putin.
They've been doing this so openly and brazenly. They're so public in their corruption in Russia that it's just accepted. It's just mainstream, the fact that Putin and his cronies steal from the Russian people. That's what's happening in America today. And it's heartbreaking for me to say this. But in the first 6 months of the Trump presidency, Trump and Elon Musk and their billionaire friends have engaged in a stunning rampage of open public corruption. It's not fundamentally different than what happened in Russia. These are efforts to steal from the American people to enrich themselves. And their strategy is to do it all out in the open, to do it at such a dizzying pace that the country just gets overwhelmed or anesthetized or dulled into a sense that we just all have to accept the corruption, or maybe more charitably, that this is just how government works, that government is just corrupt, and so the fact that it's happening out in the open instead of happening secretly, well, it's really nothing new. But this is not how government works. The things that have happened over the last 6 weeks are unprecedented. The president and his billionaire friends are not supposed to steal from us. They are not supposed to use their power and their access to power, their access to government levers, to rig the rules to enrich themselves. That has always been wrong. It is still wrong. And we do not have to accept this. And so in the next few minutes, I want to try out an exercise. I want to try to lay out for you as quickly as I can just some of the most significant instances of blatantly corrupt activity that's happened in just the first 6 weeks of Trump's presidency. When you see it all together, there is no way to avoid a simple conclusion. This White House is on its way to being the most corrupt in the history of the country. And just
so people always talk about Congress. I think you have to realize that to be a member of Congress, you're going to have to trend on the wealthier side. I don't think the system's fair right now, but you have to about trend on the wealthier side, right? Who in chat could take 9 months off to campaign? You know what I mean? Could afford to pay, right? It's obviously trending to the wealthier side. That's where it starts. I think the poorest member of Congress still has a net worth of like $700,000 or some shit. The problem is enriching themselves blatantly in front of everybody. And no one's calling it out. No one's saying anything. No one's saying stop. Thank God for the judicial system so far.
Because they are doing it out in the open for everybody to see doesn't mean that it's not corrupt. And my hope is that if you see it all in one place, the gravity of this moment may hit you. My hope is that my colleagues and the public choose not to normalize a president or his advisors using the Oval Office as a blunt mechanism to make themselves even wealthier. It is our decision to have zero tolerance for corruption. It's also our decision to just decide to become a place like Russia, where our leaders are allowed to routinely steal from us. So this is a heartbreakingly long list. This is just 20 or so examples of corrupt behavior in the first 6 weeks of the Trump presidency. So here it goes. We're going to start on January 17th. On January 17th, Trump launches the meme coin. This is maybe the most corrupt of all the acts, because what is the meme coin? The meme coin is essentially a mechanism.
Not only is it, dude, it is probably the ultimate vehicle for money laundering. Like, I know they like to say USAID was money laundering. Bullshit, right? You might not like where the money went, but it went there and it was approved to go there. It was given to these people. They used it. When they don't use it appropriately, the inspector generals inspect them and force them to pay it back. Shut them down, right? put them in prison. That's what their job was before he fired them all. The meme coin could literally be anybody ensuring that Trump gets millions of dollars for favors, and nobody can trace it. It could be the ultimate vehicle for money laundering, bribes, and bullshit. Not to mention all his fans he screwed over.
By which Russian oligarchs or corporate CEOs can literally send money privately directly to Donald Trump. Nobody knows who buys the meme coin, but Trump makes money when people buy it. And so it is just an open sewer valve that allows for anybody who is trying to influence the Trump administration to be able to secretly funnel money to Donald Trump. He reserves 80% of the coin. He waits to release that coin until the price jumps back up again, which essentially means he's waiting for people who want favors from him to buy a bunch of the coin to inflate the value so that he releases more and makes more money. It's a disgusting kind of corruption, because this is essentially Trump just posting his Venmo for anybody secretly to wire him as much money as they want. We've never seen something like this before, where anybody...
The president launched a meme coin to make himself millions of dollars off his followers. It was called $Trump. He shared it, launched it, rug pulled it. What do you mean there's no substance or facts? Those are all facts.
Anybody who has anything to gain from the Trump administration through a manipulation of the value of Trump's meme coin can funnel money.
I think you may be retarded.
That was me. That was me that purchased all that coin, that jumped up the value, that allowed you to release new coin. Hey, take care of me on the back end. On January 20th, when he's sworn in, he institutes his new energy agenda. Now, open reporting suggested that during the campaign, he met with the oil and gas industry.
Oh, my God. You look like if Nancy Pelosi and Carolyn Levitt had a child. What is this? There is no way you brought your cross-eyed looking ass over to my chat to talk shit about me. There is no fucking way. There is no, you come over here on Al Gore's fucking internet looking in two different goddamn directions to talk shit to me. We got one eye on the chat, one eye on the stream. Who you looking at? Carolyn Levitt and Nancy Pelosi had a fucking love child. A secret love child for coming across the aisle. That's actually Nickajack Cave. That's where Johnny Cash recorded some albums. It's pretty famous tourist location, I think. No fucking way you drug your ass over here looking like that.
And they cut a deal in which the oil and gas industry would give him $1 billion of campaign contributions in order to receive favorable treatment when Trump was sworn in. And guess what happens on January 20th? Trump unveils his energy strategy. And what does it do? It preferences oil and gas, and it punishes oil and gas's competitors. It, for instance, freezes all permits on wind projects, both for the land and the sea. It undercuts permitting processes, not for oil and gas, but for oil and gas's competitors. Oil and gas got exactly what they asked for. They gave a campaign contribution, and they got the favorable treatment.
All of them look the same. Yes. As if a corpse rose from the dead and wanted to call the police on a black person in their cemetery.
5 days later, Trump fires 17 inspectors general. What do inspectors general do? They look for corruption.
Weird. Why would we say we're going after corruption and then fire the inspectors general?
Gain from the Trump administration through a manipulation of the value of Trump's meme coin, can funnel money directly to the president, whisper in his ear, that was me, that was me.
80% of the coin is held by people, either Trump or people close, we don't know. But it was given out. It was allocated to people before the coin launch. 80%.
That purchased all that coin, that jumped up the value, that allowed you to release new coin.
And if it is for money laundering, what he could do is say, hey, go ahead and invest, send what do you want to send me? $30 million? Put $10 million in my coin. When the price goes up, I'll drop off of these, 600,000 shares. That'll be your payment.
Coin. Hey, take care of me on the back end. On January 20th, when he's sworn in, he institutes his new energy agenda. Now, open reporting suggested that during the campaign, he met with the oil and gas industry, and they cut a deal in which the oil and gas industry would give him $1 billion of campaign contributions in order to receive favorable treatment when Trump was sworn in. And guess what happens on January 20th? Trump unveils his energy strategy. And what does it do? It preferences oil and gas, and it punishes oil and gas's competitors. It, for instance, freezes all permits on wind projects, both for the land and the sea. It undercuts permitting processes, not for oil and gas, but for oil and gas's competitors. Oil and gas.
As soon as he comes in, favors for oil and gas.
Got exactly what they asked for. They gave a campaign contribution, and they got the favorable treatment. 5 days later, Trump fires 17 inspectors general. What do inspectors general do? They look for...
She does look wealthy. She's probably made a lot of money. These programs that are being cut doesn't help, doesn't hurt her. She could care less about anything going on anywhere in the fucking world, right? Like, she's got her stable income, and that's it.
Inside of these agencies, what do? If you are trying to engage in corruption, if you are trying to steal from the American people, you fire the inspectors general. 2 days later, on January 27th, Trump fires Gwen Wilcox from the NLRB. This is the National Labor Relations Board. When she's fired, the National Labor Relations Board cannot function any longer. Why does this matter? Because the person that has been put in charge of reviewing the hirings and firings of these agencies is Elon Musk, who, by the way, has lots of cases before the NLRB. So do the people that are standing.
Elon Musk has multiple cases in front of the NLRB. They fired one person in NLRB. There's been another person that said, and they're challenging that in court, saying it's illegal firing. There's another person that is just tired of all the bullshit and wants to step down from the NLRB. If two people leave the NLRB and are not replaced, they won't have a quorum. They won't have enough people to rule on any of the cases in front of the NLRB. They won't have enough people to rule on these cases. And those cases will be frozen indefinitely until it is the National Labor Relations Board.
Behind Trump during the inauguration. Almost all of them have active cases before the NLRB. The billionaires supporting Donald Trump now don't have to worry about the NLRB because on January 27th, the NLRB is rendered powerlessness. 3 days later, on January 30th, Trump awards more than $800,000 worth of stock to several of the board members of the Trump Media and Technology Group. This is the publicly...
Imagine any other attorney general, director of the FBI, holding stock in Trump's company. Millions of dollars worth of stock.
Traded company behind his social media platform. So now his cabinet members, people like Kash Patel and Linda McMahon, are owning equity in Trump's media platform, equity that can be cashed out, sold to people who want to buy them out of their interest at any time. Those people who might want to buy them out, cabinet members, could be individuals with issues before the Department of Education, before the FBI. Yet another avenue in which people who have influence, who want to gain influence inside the Trump administration, have a conduit to be able to move cash from their pocketbooks, from their treasury, from their bank accounts, into the bank accounts of Trump cabinet members. Shortly thereafter, we start to see the weaponization of the DOJ. On February 23rd, a civil complaint from DOJ that had been pending against SpaceX, Elon Musk's signature company, is dropped.
I wonder why. No reason given. Makes sense.
8 days later, the DOJ drops a case against a Republican congressman. On February 19th, 2 or 3 weeks later, the DOJ opens up something called Operation Whirlwind, which seeks to target anyone who dares try to obstruct or criticize the work of Elon Musk and Doge. Over the course of the first few weeks, the DOJ is turned into an entity that drops cases against those who are loyal to Donald Trump and pursues aggressively investigations against those who are trying to criticize Donald Trump. On February 1st, Trump fires the director of the CFPB and announces plans to shutter the Consumer Financial Protection Board. Again, very much like the NLRB, this is an agency that was, at the moment that it was rendered powerless, investigating Elon Musk and many of the biggest financial backers of Donald Trump. So once again, those that have access to Donald Trump, the billionaires that are close to him, now don't have to worry about labor violations being investigated by the NLRB. Now they don't have to worry about consumer protection actions being taken against them by the CFPB. On February 4th, there is the first of two extraordinary meetings in the White House in which Donald Trump convenes his business partners, the Saudi Golf League and the PGA, to try to negotiate a solution to the dispute between those two golf leagues. Why? Because Trump has a business interest in that dispute being resolved.
Surely not.
Tournaments at Trump's courses in the United States. And so if the White House, using its official power, can try to negotiate a settlement between those two groups, Trump stands to make money. On February 6th, something absolutely stunning happens. Pam Bondi,
I honestly think he ran to get out of legal trouble. And now he's going to enrich himself as much as possible.
Issues a memorandum in which she proposes.
The SEC put out a communication that they don't fuck with. They're not going to prosecute meme coins. They're the only people that would actually have an avenue to regulate it. Nah, it's not us. They're like collectibles. We don't care.
To dull the criminal enforcement of the Foreign Agents Registration Act. If you are representing a foreign government before the United States, you have to register so that we know if you are acting on behalf of American interests or you
that makes sense.
On behalf of foreign interests.
We're doing away with that. Oh, okay. Why would it? Why? Somebody tell me why. It was required by law that if you're representing a foreign government, you're allowed to, but you have to tell us. You're representing a foreign government to a United States politician, right? You have an interest in representing them to a politician. You have to let us know. You have to register. Why would we soften regulations around that?
Prior Trump administration, Trump officials got in big trouble for secretly working for and getting paid by foreign governments without registering. Well, what does Trump announce? That they are going to limit the applicability of the enforcement of that statute, making it much easier for Trump's friends from...
He even argues that U.S. businesses ought to be able to bribe foreign governments.
For his MAGA crowd, for the people who show up tomorrow.
So if he's arguing, hey, U.S. businesses ought to be able to bribe foreign governments. That's how the game's played, guys. What do you think foreign businesses are saying to Trump when they want to come to the United States?
To get paid quietly by foreign governments in order to influence Donald Trump. On February 10th, maybe aside from the meme coin, the most stunning act of corruption, the Eric Adams quid pro quo, in which Eric Adams, indicted for corruption, is let off the hook. His charges are dismissed in exchange for the mayor's pledge of political loyalty to Donald Trump. They literally went on TV and announced the deal, that we're getting rid of the charges against Eric Adams as long as the mayor pledges...
We've seen this. Tom Homan, or whatever his name is, the guy over ICE, said he's either going to do what he says or I'm going to come back and say, what about that deal we made? What about those charges we dropped? They just admitted to it.
Political loyalty to the president. That was so corrupt that 6 or 7 DOJ officials resigned because they refused to withdraw those charges. But the deal went through because the 7th or the 8th or the 9th official finally filed the withdrawal. And now in America, it is 100% clear that if you want to get away with corruption, if you want to steal from your constituents and you're an elected official in this country, all you have to do is just sign up for political loyalty with Donald Trump, and he will instruct the Department of Justice to let you get away with it. On February 10th, Donald Trump directs the DOJ to pause enforcement of U.S. laws that prohibit companies from paying bribes overseas. Come on. Come on. He instructs the DOJ to pause enforcement of U.S. laws that prohibit companies to pay bribes overseas. Here's an example. Goldman Sachs was engaged in outright bribery. They were paying bribes to Malaysian officials so that they could get a contract to manage the resources of the Malaysian Sovereign Wealth Fund. American companies should not be overseas bribing foreign governments. That compromises America's reputation and America's national security. But now we are going to pause enforcement of the laws that stop American companies from bribing foreign governments because corruption is now being normalized. This is what you do if you want to normalize corruption, is that you make it legal for American companies to engage in corruption overseas. That makes it easier for Trump to get away with corruption here. 2 days later, on February 12th, the announcement comes out that the State Department is going to buy $400 million of armored Teslas. Okay, so now it's getting even more blatant. It's getting even more brazen.
But that contract was signed under Biden. It was for electric vehicles. It wasn't a contract. It was just a notification of interest. It was expanded for even more and then suddenly assigned to Tesla. And no one can tell us why.
The State Department is just going to buy a whole bunch of product from Elon Musk, product that they were not previously scheduled to buy. It is true that the Biden administration had a blueprint that was going to buy some electric vehicles, but it was around $483,000 worth of vehicles. Trump revises that blueprint of spending so that now the federal government is going to spend $400 million on armored Teslas from Elon Musk. Let's see. That's February 12th. That same day, Elon Musk's people infiltrate the Department of Labor, and reporting suggests that during that infiltration, Elon Musk's personal representatives get access to enforcement information at OSHA, not only against Elon Musk's companies, and by the way, SpaceX has...
You understand how bad this is, right? That someone who owns a company can go into OSHA. OSHA is what protects the workers. Can go into OSHA and get all the data, all the complaints, the people who made the complaints, what they complained about, what the action was going to be taken, for their own company and their competitors' companies.
An employee injury rate that is 9 times higher than the industry average, but also workplace safety violations against Elon Musk's competitors.
I'm ready to leave all my fucking family that voted for Trump.
Here's the message. If you
sit here and fucking love it.
Or close to Donald Trump personally, if you support him politically, you can get secret access to enforcement data against your country, against your companies, and your company's competitors. That's what happens on February 12th. 3 days later, there's some suspicious firings at the FDA, again related to Elon Musk's personal financial interests.
What? For real? Suspicious firings that had to do with Trump's special interests. What?
Musk owns a medical device company called Neuralink. It is currently being reviewed by the FDA. And guess what? On February 15th and 16th, all over a weekend, there are 20 people fired from the FDA's Office of Neurological and...
J.D. Vance, they're from where he's trying to, this is Elon Musk. He's firing people that are investigating implants. What does Neuralink have? Elon Musk? Implants. They also had an investigation about all the monkeys he fucking killed and shit. J.D. Vance is on Twitter complaining about Ukrainian protesters following him and his daughter around while they literally stopped intelligence sharing with Ukraine. Didn't cost them anything. Didn't cost them a dime to share intelligence of when drones, missiles, planes, and shit were launched from Russia. And they've been bombing the fuck out of Ukraine ever since. And then Trump's like, oh, they're really hitting them hard, ain't they? Maybe they should have been nicer to me. You're mad that your daughter, you and your daughter walking around are being followed. Not heckled, not yelled out, not chased. Followed by protesters. While kids are being killed by bombs in Ukraine. Because of the actions you and Trump took.
And guess what? On February 15th and 16th, all over a weekend, there are 20 people fired from the FDA's Office of Neurological and Physical Medicine Devices. Fired by Doge, run by Elon Musk. Clear message, you're going to get fired if you aren't on the right side of Elon Musk's application. Now, whether that was explicit or not, if the guy who is firing you has a pending application before your department, aren't you going to think twice? Aren't you going to think twice about ruling against his interests? This is why this is all unprecedented. Again, this feels normal because it's been happening every day, but never before in American history have we allowed someone who has a pending application for approval.
You can't tell me when he lays all this out, even if you voted for Trump. There's this like belief that you voted for Trump and you signed up for everything he's ever going to do forever. You can admit that he's doing shit wrong. You can admit that this looks sketchy as fuck. You can admit that this sounds like bribes and fucking conflict of interest and shit. Holy fuck.
Approval of a medicine or a medical device to be able to personally decide who gets hired and who gets fired at the regulatory agency making the decision over that medical device. But now this stuff is happening every day because on February 15th as well, that same weekend, there's an announcement that the FDA cuts are going to be even deeper, perhaps as big as 50%. That means that hundreds of drugs and devices won't get approved at the FDA. And you know who benefits from that? The folks that are selling the snake oil products. And guess who's selling the snake oil products? The people who work for Donald Trump, selling Vita gummy scams. The director of the FBI is selling vaccine reversal pills. When the FDA gets
the director of the FBI is selling on his website vaccine reversal pills.
The people who work for Donald Trump, selling Vita gummy scams. The director of the FBI is selling vaccine reversal pills. When the FDA gets gutted, it's the people who sell those unregulated products who stand to gain. On February 19th, 4 days later, we find out that the IRS is going to be cut by 7,000 people. And the biggest chunk of the folks who are going to be laid off are the people who do the audits of the billionaires and the millionaires and the corporations. And so once again, Elon Musk and the people standing behind Donald Trump on Inauguration Day are going to get off because the IRS just had its enforcement powers, its audit powers, absolutely gutted. That same day, on February 19th, you start to receive word that advertising on Elon Musk's platform is starting to grow again. And the reporting on February 19th indicates that American companies have come to the collective decision that they
that if they want special treatment, they need to be advertising on Twitter.
Need to keep advertising.
When a company doesn't vote. A company shouldn't have a very strong political leaning once someone's elected, right? They might want a certain person elected, but then they just do their thing, right? The person's elected. When companies collectively decide, hey, something weird's going on, and it seems like the only way that we're not going to get hit by this is to invest in this guy's company, no one sees an issue with that. We better invest on Twitter because if we don't, we won't be doing work with the government.
On Elon Musk's platform because Elon Musk has so much regulatory power inside the federal government that they need to make sure that they're paying Musk through Twitter and through X so that if they ultimately need something from the federal government, they can get it. This, again, is why we have never, ever in the history of this country allowed for the richest man in the world, somebody who controls major companies, to also have an official position inside the government. Because of course, it opens up these clear avenues where people are going to do business with him privately to try to curry favor with him publicly. I'm not done. It just keeps going. The next day, on February 20th, the CDC's Advisory Committee on Immunization Practices monthly meeting is canceled and not rescheduled. And so we were very worried that Robert F. Kennedy Jr., who makes money off of his attacks on vaccines, would continue those attacks when he took over HHS.
But he did stand up for the MMR vaccine under pressure, I guess. And then Trump's followers fucking attacked him. What the fuck is this? I didn't sign up for more vaccines. I signed up for... What do you mean you're going...
Because if faith in vaccines continues to plummet, it is very likely that RFK Jr. will make money. Why? Because the not-for-profit that he will likely return to, the company that he will return to after he leaves, makes money as vaccine misinformation spreads. And he also continues to collect fees for referring cases to a company that handles claims of personal injury due to vaccines. And so when the CDC's Advisory Committee on Immunization Practices is canceled, it is a clear indication that, yes, this campaign of assault on vaccines is going to continue, which, not surprisingly, is likely to make RFK Jr. even more money. On February 26th, we see Trump's MAGA hats that are for sale on his website displayed in the Oval Office. And it's just a reminder that so many people inside Trump's universe continue to sell merchandise on the side in order to make money. Donald Trump has always done this, and we've just kind of accepted it, even though it is a kind of corruption in and of itself. But Kash Patel, the director of the FBI, is still selling cash-branded merchandise, even while he's going to run the FBI. Elon Musk and others are selling Doge merchandise. So as they trumpet their brand inside the government, they're making money off their brand outside of the government. On February 26th, maybe the third most significant of brazen corruption happens, news breaks that Elon Musk is just going to have the FAA cancel a contract with Verizon that has been in the works for years and instead just substitute in Starlink for Verizon. Just extraordinary that this is happening in plain view of everybody. Elon Musk takes his private company, uses his access to government to just shove out of the way his competitors and instead insert himself and his company. Again, we've never seen this ever before in American history. Now it's happening on a daily basis. And now we get to this week. This week, Wired reports that guests are paying millions of dollars to dine with Donald Trump at Mar-a-Lago, and business leaders are being targeted with advertisements that sell access to a one-on-one meeting with the President of the United States for $5 million. Come on. Like, seriously. There's advertisements that say if you're a business CEO and you pay $5 million to Donald Trump, you can get a meeting with him. Like, this isn't okay. And yet, because it happens every single day, they're asking for us to pretend that this is normal. This is just 6 weeks. It's just 6 weeks. And the last thing on the list is an offer to meet with the president for $1 million or $5 million. If any previous president had sent out an advertisement suggesting that you could meet with them for a payment to them of $1 million to $5 million, in and of itself, we would deem that to be unacceptable. But Donald Trump and Elon Musk believe that because they have arranged this dizzying pace of corruption in which not a day goes by in which something doesn't happen inside our government, in which Elon Musk or Donald Trump use their power in order to rig the rules to enrich themselves, that we are all going to feel that it's normal. This is how democracies die. Democracies die when the very powerful people steal from us so regularly, so openly, so unapologetically, that we come to believe that it's normal. And listen, I understand that many Americans may think that all of this stuff just used to happen quietly. And the only difference is that Trump and Musk are just putting it all out in the open. And I'm not saying that there haven't been instances of corruption. Democrats and Republicans in this body have been accused of and convicted of acts of corruption. It has been a fact of life in American politics for a long time. But never before has the corruption happened this openly or this frequently. And so I lay it all out for you this afternoon in the hopes that it is not too late for us to decide to stand up as a body and as a nation to say that this isn't okay. The Trump meme coin is not okay. It's not okay for people who have interest before the federal government to be able to anonymously funnel money to the President of the United States. It's not okay for Elon Musk to have access to Department of Labor enforcement data against him or his competitors that nobody else gets access to. It's not okay to just cancel contracts that were going to Musk's competitors and substitute in his own business just because he has the ability to do it as a friend of Donald Trump. Like, the rule of law matters. Doing things by the rules matter. This level of corruption was not occurring behind the scenes prior. It is not just that the cover got pulled off of it all. And it's our decision as a body and as a country to decide not to normalize this scale of corruption. I yield the floor.
I don't know what else to say. It's out there. There's so much of it. And we're 6 weeks in. Just no one seems to give a fuck about it. Oh, that bitch is very wealthy. Like, wealthy enough, she was hosting representatives at her house to get them elected. Congressmen and their wives at parties at her house to get them elected. Appeared in a campaign commercial for Virginia congressman. Like, that Teresa bitch is very wealthy. No wonder she doesn't want her wealth touched. Gotta hang on to it somehow. Right? Right? I can't be taxed more. What are you talking about? Let the Ukrainians die. Makes sense. Makes perfect sense. This comes from one of Dr. J's friends was recently busted at Columbine High School. I think she said close personal friend of hers. I'm not sure. Officials at one Colorado school district helped student declare herself homeless before moving in with a teacher. What? I wonder if the news story is actually about it or not. We'll see. Go J.G. Wentworth. 877 cash now. 877 cash now. 877. It's your money. Use it when you need it. 877 cash now. Call now. Sorry.
The Jefferson County schools. Well, tonight, another one. CBS Colorado investigator Sean, over the last few months, we've told you about several scandals at Jefferson County schools. Well, tonight, another one. CBS Colorado.
I think she used the word best friend.
Colorado investigator Sean Boyd uncovered documents that show school officials helped an underage student declare herself homeless so she could move in with a teacher. Sean Boyd joins us now to talk more on this. And Sean, she was not homeless.
Ivermectin. 877 cash now.
No, and the school district admits that those involved knew that, yet they helped a student fill out a federal form that said she was homeless, then hid it from her parents so she could move in with a teacher. And that's just...
That is wild, dude. This is at the Columbine, right? Is that what you said? Like the Columbine, shooting? They helped a student declare herself, what would we used to call emancipate herself from her parents so she could move in with a teacher.
It's the beginning.
There's like this icky feeling that something's wrong, and then as it progressed, it only got worse.
Heather McCormick says there were red flags at...
Damn it, when I pulled out that picture of Teresa, I should have used my new drawing on the screen ability. I could have showed you her fucking cavernous throat and everything. Damn it. That was a good waste of it.
Columbine High School, long before the school district hired investigators who found teacher Leanne Carney had been grooming a female student. McCormick is friends with that student's mother.
And there wasn't one person who stood up and was like, something doesn't seem right, and reached out to the parents.
Instead, school emails obtained through an open record.
I do not believe the contact information for her in campus is correct. That is her parents' phone. Without having to use her parents' tax information, I'm using our address for her mailing address.
Purposefully kept the parents in the dark while they helped their daughter fill out a federal form declaring her
unaccompanied homeless youth documentation, independent student status for the FAFSA.
Herself homeless so she could move in with a teacher.
I think it's really scary that we can take teenagers or children of any age and just say, whatever you say is truth, we're not going to investigate it. We're going to take big steps to declare you homeless without notifying your family.
Investigators say Principal Scott Christie also knew about the girl's plans and didn't tell her parents. McCormick says the mom stumbled upon the homeless document while cleaning her daughter's room and later found a letter describing her daughter kissing Carney, along with thousands of calls and texts between the two. She says she sent Carney a message warning her it needed to stop and then took the calls and texts to the principal, who she says dismissed them, telling her Miss Carney takes interest in helping kids navigate their sexuality.
Damn.
The school would have reacted differently had Carney been a male teacher.
Oh, absolutely.
Carney quit, but it would take 2 years and pressure from the mom before she lost her teaching license. McCormick said her friend lost far more. When her daughter turned 18, she moved out of state with the teacher.
It's really scary to think that there are schools and teachers and administrations that are working behind your back, not in the best interest of your child.
Jeffco School District sent me a statement saying, obviously, the student did not meet the criteria to be considered homeless, and the staff involved in this isolated incident were addressed as part of the investigation.
So, New York Post, just so you know, this is the Post, but still, it says, perv teacher groomed my daughter in class, then stole her away, and woke school officials, God, there's so many buzzwords, woke school officials helped her, mother says. The mother of a Colorado teen who's allegedly seduced by her teacher says woke school policies allowed school officials to ignore red flags, helped the teacher to groom her vulnerable daughter for years. Investigations by cops in the schools alleged Leanne Carney, 37, engaged in a systematic campaign to alienate the girl from her parents and use school administrators to help. The principal and others at Columbine High School in Jefferson County, Colorado, were all too happy for Carney to have Carney have control of the girl under the guise of helping her navigate her sexuality, the mother alleges. This is 2 years of grooming. Then she took her, the mom said, she took my kid. As for why officials kept the girl's parents in the dark about the situation, the state's policies meant to protect transgender students drove a rift between parents of all kinds of kids and educators, says Lindsay Datko of advocacy group Jeff Co. Kids First. Jefferson County Kids, I guess. Transgender equal opportunity policy, before we fought 2 years to change it, said to leave parents out of the transition process if students said that's what they wanted, Datko explained. It instilled a culture of secrecy. On February 14th, the principal apologized to families and staff, and Republic Records revealed how now disgraced social studies teacher Kearney duped officials into helping her prey on an underage student. This horrible situation will haunt me for the rest of my life. I am deeply sorry for the pain this family has experienced, Principal Scott Christie said in a letter. The school has since updated its policies on child safety, and the staff will receive additional training on how to prevent a similar situation from happening again. The apology came nearly a year after the ex-teacher allegedly ran off to Oregon with her student the moment the girl turned 18. With no criminal charges, even though state officials found she had groomed the teen for years. She was 15 when she was in Kearney's class, the girl's mother, who asked that neither she nor her daughter be named, told the Post. Since the teen entered Kearney's class as a sophomore in 2018, the two exchanged 24,000 text messages. They spent dozens of hours on the phone, met in secret, and according to a note written by the teen, even kissed while the girl was underage, according to investigations by the Jefferson County Sheriff's Office and school district that were reviewed by the Post. Kearney got the girl a job at Planet Fitness Gym and let her use her pickup truck. At one point, Kearney's girlfriend dumped her, and she told investigators Kearney's relationship with a young student was a point of contention. So the teacher's girlfriend dumped her because she was too close to this girl, according to the investigation documents. The mother claims Kearney pushed her daughter to submit a fraudulent application for federal homeless youth status, which would allow her to move out of the house and away from the watchful eye of her parents. Kearney began asking colleagues about that application process when her alleged future lover was only 15 years old, records show. Kearney and her victim recruited her guidance counselor, the principal, and other teachers for help, telling them the teen was in a dangerous, abusive home. This seems like one person abused the system, not like the system was broken, right? This teacher, who shouldn't be fucking doing this, was like, oh, they're abusive. She needs to get out of here. She needs to be safe. You have to weigh, like, is this true? And if I tell the parents, are they going to fucking kill this kid? Maybe police should have been involved at this point, though. Abusive home and didn't feel safe staying with her parents anymore. But the staff never contacted her parents themselves and never checked out her story out. Not even with with her younger brother, who went to the same school and had the same guidance counselors. Reached for comment, the school referred the Post to its open letter apologizing about the case. The principal said he notified school authorities and that Kearney was on a military deployment at the time and never returned to the school. She in the National Guard or something? When the counselor forwarded her application paperwork to the district official, she specifically asked them not to contact the girl's parents, internal emails revealed. But even though the girl's mom didn't know about her homelessness claim, she had gotten wise to her special relationship with Kearney. She messaged the teacher asking her not to contact her daughter again, yet Kearney never responded and kept texting and calling the girl, who was then 17. Finally, the mom brought the matter before the principal, Christie. The mom said Christie dismissed her red flag, claiming that Kearney simply took a special interest in helping kids navigate their sexuality. Can we prove that's what he said, or is it just the mom saying that he said that? That's awful. In February 14th letter, Christie admitted that proper procedures were not followed for the girl's homeless youth application, but he said he didn't brush off her mom's concerns about alerting the district to Title IX coordinator and alerted the Title IX coordinator, although an investigation revealed that the district's legal team was not notified. He also said Kearney would have been fired had she not resigned first. The state did eventually strip Kearney of her teaching license last December because of evidence that grooming occurred, but by then Kearney had already run off to Oregon with the girl, who is now an adult but still half Kearney's age. With that, Lee, what the lead sheriff's investigator told me it's going to be like that until she realizes she's in an abusive situation, the mom said. She added, this was deliberate, calculated, and a conspiracy. Multiple attempts to reach Kearney were unsuccessful. Damn. That's fucking crazy out there. Oh, Teresa's back. Fucking retard. Oh. All right, guys. That's probably it for me tonight. We're going to try to be back now. I'm trying to get my schedule fixed. I didn't get home and in bed. I didn't get home till like 4 o'clock last night. But I'm trying to get my schedule fixed, start coming in early. I like that it's getting, that the lights stay in later in the day. If you want to support the show, do that at coldbeer.fund. The show is 100% funded by people like you. So if you want to make a donation, keep the show running, that's all these links here, including one that's kind of private. If you don't want your name out there, that's just the yellow donate button. Thank you guys for joining us. Thank you for being here. Thanks for hanging out with me. I appreciate it. You guys have a good night. Don't do anything Phil would do, I guess. He's still busy being a special agent. I don't know what the fuck Phil's doing. Thank you all for hanging out with us tonight. Trying to get our life piece back together after the storm. But it's coming along fine. Miraz Pap obviously has some health issues, so we're trying to navigate currently. But thank you all for being here tonight. We'll be back tomorrow. I got to get back to Patreon. We didn't expect the Miraz Papal to have a health scare, but he did. But we'll get back to Patreon hopefully this week. And thank you guys for joining us. We'll see everybody tomorrow. Have a good night. Love you. See you. Bye.
But I can tell you this about if this douchebag happens to see this particular show, you don't have the forking balls to call out the people on this planet by name.
They live in hypocrisy.
Who they are.
They live in hypocrisy.
You don't have the forking balls. You don't have the balls.
Okay, Scott. Here we go. I think I started some shit. Listen off, it's about to get lit. Get the place in the best, you know that stage is set. You better buckle up, cause you ain't seen none yet. Here we go, I think I started.
I take special interest in retards.
It's about to get lit. Get the place in the best, you know that stage is set. You better buckle up.
You're on the wrong platform if you want to see my engagement.
I'm a lunatic.
You have to be about 50 years younger and have a Twitch account.
In a sixth sense for the stupid shit. Where my true believer? Y'all need Jesus. Praise the Lord, head to the extreme. All these false fucking prophets who profit off of gossip. Worshipping drums, cocking, begging for a throat deposit. Swinging fucking meat hammers like fool in a thong. He's strapped to the shaft, beating his chest like he's King Kong. Starving for attention, I'ma make your gut burst. I'll be your huckleberry, I can quench that thirst. Baby eating lizard people, alien sex. What's next? Trump in a dress, fucking Flynn on his desk. A retard in a vest, climbing up 5G towers. Cause you told him if he did, he'd get fucking superpowers. Here we go, I think.
Don't worry, Trump's term will end eventually. You're 50 years my elder. We'll fucking fix the country when you guys die. We got it.
Better buckle up, cause you ain't seen none yet. Here we go, I think I started some shit. Piss him off, it's about to get lit. Get the place in the best, you know that stage is set. You better buckle up, cause you ain't.
You might as well keep one of your eyes on the show and learn something. I know that other one's kind of out in fucking space, but keep one of them over here.
Rockets. I strapped it to my shoes and then I flew through the roof. I found myself in orbit strapped to an F-16. High on amphetamine with Trump in between. Put on a light coat of baby oil and saluted the troops. He tapped me on the shoulder and said, "This is gonna be it." Wait. Stop. What? I'll get my files. Wait, what are you doing? Stop. Hold on. Fucking stop. Dude, come on. Seriously. This is my arms and alcohol. Give me a. Oh my God. Damn it. Here we go, I think I started some shit. Piss them off, it's about to get lit. Get the place in the best, you know that stage is set. You better buckle up, cause you ain't seen none yet. Here we go, I think I started some shit. Piss them off, it's about to get lit. Get the place in the best, you know that stage is set. You better buckle up, cause you ain't seen none yet. Round 3. Down goes Nino. Please say it isn't so. Got him backed up on the ropes, trying to ram it down his throat. Now things are getting rocking.
Good night, guys.
So well, it's all over. Hands on his shoulders, they ringing his bell. You got Frog News Network doing no damn research. They rework and copy on cocks that came first. 9th inning, second string, and they acting like they know hitters. Assholes throwing bullshit, shit and runs to the shitter. All this nonsense on my conscience. It's hard to sleep at